Glory be to God, saints. Glory be to God. Back again today to continue going forth in Matthew chapter 26. Matthew chapter 26, King James Version of the Bible. And this chapter talks about the plot to kill Jesus and how Jesus celebrated the Passover with his disciples. So we all know that the Passover is coming up on the 21st or 22nd, whatever day that Friday is. So we're gonna read on and see how the Lord celebrated the Passover. All right, Matthew chapter 26. It says, "And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, You know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. And then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the place of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Jesus by subtlety and kill him." So they wanted to, they consulted to take Jesus without any trouble. They wanted to be subtle about it. They didn't want the people to rise up against them, you know. It says, "But they said, Not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head. And he sat at meat. And when the disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? They saw the woman pouring that anointing oil on his head, and they like, why this woman wasting this oil? It says, For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. It says, when Jesus understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me you have not always." See, saying she bothering her for, she doing a good job. She doing a good job. You got the poor always to take care of, but me, you only gonna have for a little while. It says, "For in that she have poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial." So she was preparing Jesus for the burial. It says, "Verily I say unto you, whosoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also that this woman have done be told for a memorial of her." She said, remember what this woman did when she prepared Jesus for his burial, so to be a memorial of her. It says, "Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you?" So, and then old Judas, he went snitching. He said, "What you gonna give me, man? I'll give you Jesus. I need that loot." and they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. So he done sold Jesus out for 30 pieces of silver. It says, "And from that time he sought opportunity to betray him." So from then on, he was just looking for the opportunity to betray him. Ain't that something? You gotta watch your enemies close and your friends closer. It says, now the first day of the feast of the unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus, saying unto him, where would thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Because they ain't had nowhere to eat the Passover. They were pretty much on the run. You had the Pharisees, Sadducees out there. You had Rome really wasn't worried about them too much, but hey, they would have took them in too. They had to give them a chance. So he ain't had nowhere. He ain't had no church to go to. He ain't had no temple to go to. So he went to the temple and stayed there. They was smoothly brought him up before him. So he had nowhere to eat the Passover. So then the disciples asked him, he said, where would thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? And it says, and he said, go into the city to such a man and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand, and I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. So he said, go tell the man, my time is at hand. I'm getting ready to die. I need to keep this Passover, so we're going to keep it at your house with his disciples. It says, and the disciples did as Jesus had appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the evening was come, he sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? So they started looking around like, is it me? I love you, Lord. I ain't going to betray you. Now, it can't be me. Maybe it's that dude over there. Nah, man, he ain't going to betray the Lord like that. But maybe, I don't know. It says, and he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. And the Son of Man goeth as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. So, when you accept Jesus Christ, and then you backslide and you reject Jesus Christ, woe unto that man. It would have been better for you not to even been born. You just betraying the Lord all over again. It says, then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, thou hast said. He said, you said it. And as they were eating, Jesus took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it. So they was taking communion during the Passover. During the Passover, they was taking communion. You understand that? It says, and then he said, take, eat, this is my body. And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it. For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. It says, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine. It says, I'm more after that, he ain't drink no more wine. Until we all gather, be gathered up there with him in his Father's kingdom. It says, and when they had sung a hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. So they went out singing songs. And they went out into the Mount of Olives. Then said Jesus unto them, all ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered abroad. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said unto him, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet I will never be offended. Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto you, that this night before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. So he told Peter, before the cock crowed 3 times, you should deny me. He said, Peter said unto him, Though I should die with thee, yet will I not deny thee. Likewise also said all the disciples. So he said, I ain't going to deny you. We ready to die with you. We ain't going to deny you. Then cometh Jesus with them unto a place called Gethsemane, and said unto the disciples, Sit ye here, while I go and pray yonder. Then said he unto them, My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. So he said, Sit down and watch with me. I'm going to pray. Keep watch. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. He said, if it be possible, I know what's about to happen to me. Let this cup pass from me. If it be your will, not my will. And he cometh unto the disciples, and findeth them asleep, and said unto Peter, What? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? So he done told them boys to keep watching. They done sat down and fell asleep. It says, Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. Watch and pray so you won't enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Says he went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, thy will be done. So he knew he was getting ready to be brought up to die. You know, if it was us, we'd probably be saying the same thing. Oh, Lord, please let this pass me by. I don't know if I'm ready for this, but if it be your will, then let it be done. It says, and he came and found them asleep again. I said, man, I just told them to keep watching, and then they sit on his sleep again. It says, for their eyes were heavy. Well, they was, you know, you had to eat a good meal, your eyes get heavy, you can't hardly keep them open. It says, and he left them and went away again and prayed the 3rd time, saying the same words. Said, if it's possible, take this cup away from me. You know, he had that's a lot of stress to know that you about to go through persecution like that. That's a lot of stress on a man's heart. You know, he was praying 3 times, so you know he was stressed. You know, he deep down inside, you know, hey, he was really pleading to the Lord. I can only imagine. It says, then cometh he to his disciples and said unto them, sleep on now, and take your rest. Hey, y'all been asleep this time. Y'all might as well keep on sleeping. So behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hand of sinners. Rise and let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me. Say, rise and let's get up, let's go, because And he that betrayed me is on the way. And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people. So they came in a mob, deep. It says, now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast. Because they say, whosoever I shall kiss, that's the man you're looking for. And forthwith he came to Jesus and said, hail, master, and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Jesus and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Jesus stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant on the high priest and smote off his ear. So he took it. He said, hold up, man, y'all ain't about to, man, get off my Jesus like that. And he drew his sword and he took it and cut the man ear off. Then said Jesus unto him, put up again thy sword into his place. For all that they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So he said, in other words, you go trying to take vengeance on you in your own hands and taking it upon people unjustly, you're gonna perish with the sword. Don't mean you can't defend yourself. Like some people say, oh, if you take the sword, you'll die with the sword. No. Nobody said you're supposed to lay down your life before the wicked. If you protecting yourself. Him in that manner thought he was protecting his man. He thought he was protecting his Lord. Any one of us would have did the same thing. But it was already predestined for him to go through this persecution. So it wasn't no need for such warfare, because if it was, he would have came with all 10,000 of his angels to do so. It says, thinkest that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels. So I don't need you to make war with them. If I pray, the Lord will send the angels for me. But how then shall the scriptures be fulfilled that thus it must be? So in order for the scriptures to be fulfilled, he got to let them go. He had to let his Lord go. I know that was a hard pill to swallow right there. It says, in that same hour said Jesus to the multitudes, are ye come out against a thief with swords and staves for to take me? I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me. So y'all seen me every day. Y'all could have grabbed me then. Y'all can come in the middle of the night. But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. So they let the men take them, and they took off, lest they be taken too. It says, and they that had laid hold on Jesus led him away to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the scribes and the elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end. Now the chief priests and the elders and all the council sought false witness against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet found they none. At the last came 2 false witnesses, and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? And Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. And Jesus said unto him, Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. There you go. I'm telling you, he coming in the clouds of heaven again. It says, Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. So he tore his clothes. He's speaking blasphemy. What further need we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. Said, what think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. Then did they spit in his face. Ain't that some degrading stuff? How you gonna spit on the Lord? Ooh-wee. Hate to be them, boy. He said they spit on the man, they spit on the Lord's face and buffeted him. So they roughed him up, spit on him and roughed him up. And the others smote him with the palms of their hands. So they put a whipping on Jesus. They spit on him, roughed him up, and put a beat down on the man. Says, saying, prophesy unto us, thou Christ, who is he that smote thee? Now Peter sat without in the place, and the damsel came unto him, saying, Thou also was with Jesus of Galilee. Here you go. Says, but he denied before them all, saying, Know not what thou sayest. I don't know what you talking about. I'm with Jesus. And when he was going out into the porch, another maid saw him and said unto them that were there, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. I don't know the man. And after a while came unto him they that stood by and said to Peter, Surely thou art one of them, for thy speech beware thee. And then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crow. And immediately the cock crew. So he began cursing and swearing and said, Man, I don't know this man. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, which said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Well. Hey. Matthew chapter 27. It says, When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Jesus to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself, and brought again 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned, and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, What is this? What is that to us? See thou to that. It says, And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple and departed, and went and hanged himself. Judas went and committed suicide. And the chief priests took the silver pieces and said, It is not lawful for to put them into the treasury. because it is the price of blood. And they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. So they took the money that Judas had dropped dropped after he hung himself. Took counsel, gathered together, and they went and bought a potter's field. They went and bought some land with it, so they can bury strangers in it. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the King of the Jews? And Jesus said unto him, Thou sayest. So I ain't said, you said. And when he was accused of the chief priests and the elders, he answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? You hear all these things they saying about you, man? They say you the king of the Jews, that you committed a blasphemy, and all this and that and the other. And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. He's like, now you got all these people running at this man talking about he didn't say blasphemy, the king of the Jews. He bring him before me in council, and he ain't said a word. What's up with this man? Says now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner, whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you? So at the feast, they was given the option to release a prisoner. So they had got Barabbas, he was pretty much a murderer. And it said, Which shall I release? Whom will ye that I release unto you? Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. And when he was sat down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with this just man? So she done told Pontius Pilate, hey, I had nothing to do with this just man they called Jesus. She was trying to give him a warning. It says, For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. Those so-called Jews say they're Jews and they're not. They said, y'all ask for Barabbas. Barabbas destroyed Jesus. Now that's cold-blooded, ain't it? Says the governor answered and said unto them, What of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with Jesus, which is called Christ? They all say unto him, Let him be crucified. Hey. And the governor said, Why? What evil have he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a torment was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of I am innocent of the blood of the just person. See ye to it. So he said, I wash my hands before y'all. I ain't got nothing to do with this here. I'm just doing my job. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children. They said it. It says, then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and all our children. They said it. It says, then released he Barabbas unto them. And when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. So that day, man. It says, then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and the reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. And they know they all gonna have to bow again. It says, and they spit on him. What's up with everybody want to spit on people? Saying they spit on him. This is the second time he got spit on. First the Jews spit on him, and then the Romans spit on him. And took the reed and smote him on the head. Man. And after that, they had mocked him. And they took the robe off from him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. Man. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots. So they was trying to sell the man's clothes, casting lots to the highest bidder, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation, written, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then were there two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and one on the left. One on the right hand and another on the left. And they passed by, reveled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple and build it in 3 days, save thyself. So they were mocking again. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Says, likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. And why then would they believe him? They didn't believe him all this time. He trusted in God, though. He trusted in God. Let him deliver him now. I shall not tempt the Lord thy God. If he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also, which were crucified with him, cast the same in his teeth. They were saying the same thing. It says, now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. He was calling his father Eli, Elohim. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, this man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let be. Let us see whether Elias will come to save him. Everybody done got jokes on that, Dan. There ain't gonna be no laughing when they come back, though. Tell you that. It says, Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. And the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. Hear that? It said, behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks went, and the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. So when the Lord yielded up his ghost, it was some supernatural stuff going on. There was a mini resurrection going on of the saints of the bodies of saints which slept arose. He said it. It says, and came out of their graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. So it said these people then rose up out the grave during the lifting of the veil. So when he come back, it's going to be another lifting of the veil. That's what I'm saying. We about to see some supernatural stuff. We might know people who got demons in them, but we can't really see them. But tell you this, when that veil is lifted, you're going to see demons, probably more than one, running around the people. He said them spirits that come out of the bottomless pit are going to be jumping in and out of people's mouth like frogs. 3 at a time. Like spirits, like black frogs jumping in and out their mouth. We about to see some stuff. Because they seeing some stuff. It says, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him, watching Jesus, saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of God. So it say when that earthquake hit, and they seen the dead rise, some of the dead rise, and walking around the city, and all manners of spirits and everything else was lifted from that veil. They said, surely, man, this was the Son of God right here. Because we ain't never seen nothing like this before. It says, and many women were there beholding afar off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. When the evening was come, there came a rich man unto Arimathea, named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and laid it on his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre, and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene, and the other Mary, sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate. All right. Back live. All right. Now, internet started messing up. Now, so it says, and there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure unto the 3rd day. So they said, make sure y'all guard that tomb. Make sure he ain't rolled, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. Says Pilate said unto them, you have a watch. Go your way, make it as sure as you can. So yeah, y'all go down there and keep watch. Make sure ain't nobody rising about the tomb. It says, so they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. Chapter 28, Matthew chapter 28. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the 1st day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake. And for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone of the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for him the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the angel answered him, and the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear ye not, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen. And he said, Come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly, and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you. All right. Says, Lo, I have told you. Verse 8 says, And they departed quickly from the sepulchre with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word. And as they went to tell his disciples, behold, Jesus met them, saying, All hail. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him. Then Jesus said unto them, Be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there shall they see me. Now when they were going, behold, some of the watch came into the city, the dudes that were standing watch, and showed unto the chief priests all the things that were done. And when they were assembled with the elders and had taken counsel, they gave large money unto the soldiers, saying, Say ye, his disciples came by night and stole him away while we slept. So they done paid off the soldiers, because they went and told the chief priest and them and said, hey, the stone was rolled away, and he wasn't in there. And here's his clothes. So the chief priest said, well, hey, if this word get out, they might call on the name of Jesus. They might believe it. So they say, go. They told the soldiers, say ye, his disciples came and stole him. That his disciples came by night and stole him away while we slept. It says, and if this come to the governor's ears, we will persuade him and secure you. In other words, if this word get out and it reach the governor's ears, we gonna persuade the governor, but we gonna kill you. What do you mean by and secure you? Mm-hmm. Like the government like to say, the package is secure. Yeah, it's secured, all right. They're gonna secure you behind. It says, so they took the money and did as they were taught. And this saying is commonly reported among the Jews until this day. And then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain where Jesus had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshiped him, but some doubted. So when they saw Jesus had rose up out the tomb, some worshiped him, and some was doubting. It's like, man, this ain't real right here. We just seen this brother get crucified. Man, they didn't spit on him, beat him, hung him up on the cross. The whole nine. Nah, I ain't believing it. It says, and Jesus came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even until the end of the world. Amen. Amen. So that concludes the book of Matthew. So next video, set of videos we're making is for Mark, the book of Mark. All right. So he is risen. Even, them Pharisees and them, they done paid the soldiers off and said, don't say a word, and tell them that the disciples came and got the body and that he ain't rose, so they won't believe in the name of Jesus. Well, we gonna kill you. And the ones that saw him, they died still. They still died. So just hold on, man. It's almost over now. It's almost over now. But y'all have a blessed day. Y'all have a blessed day today. Friday evening, get ready for the Sabbath. Enjoy your day with the Lord. Worshiping and praise. And reading and studying. That's what I like to do, is study and read. And y'all have a blessed Sabbath. Shabbat Shalom.